The NCS project is a 4-year DEFRA-funded project, £5.9 million, led by PGRO, and we've got 17 industry partners. And we're looking to establish two important things, and we've got quite ambitious aims. If we manage to get the arable cropping of pulses up to 20% of the UK area, it's currently 5%, and if we manage to get 50%, remove 50% of the soya used in rations and replace it with homegrown pulses, we can reduce the carbon emissions in agriculture by 1.5 million tonnes per year. And here at Cereals, we are talking to our Pulse pioneers. These are farmers who are doing on-farm trials. They're being paid to do on-farm trials for us and have a look at pulses across the rotation. But within those trials, they're also trialling different methods of growing pulses, whether that's overseeding with clover, for example, intercropping, and also trying some of these new products that are available to enhance your pea and bean crops. So we're looking to talk to those farmers about how they're going to be setting up their trials and how they're going to get a scientific result from those trials as well. So all of them are putting their trials through the ADAS-YEN program, and that gives them a really detailed analysis of exactly how their crop's performing throughout the year. And so if you want to find out how they're getting on, if you want to join the discussion, come to Pulse PEP. So if you go to ncsproject.co.uk and then follow the link there to join Pulse PEP, and then you can take part in the discussions too and find out how our farmers are getting on. It's been a really exciting year so far on the project. And the main thing that we've been looking for in this project and what we set out to do was to engage farmers. And I'm really thrilled to say that we've now got 366 farmers signed up to the Pulse PEP. So this is our community where we're sharing ideas, sharing discussion on how to get the best from peas and beans and how to get them best utilised on farm in livestock rations as well. The other element that we've been doing is on-farm trials, and that's our big focus today here at Cereals. We want to talk to those farmers who are doing our trials and also attract some more trialists in. So we're looking to double the number of trials that we're doing in year 2. And these Pulse pioneers are being paid to do on-farm trials to look at better ways of growing peas and beans. These are proper farmer-led trials, scientifically analysed. We'll get some really good results from what they're doing and really good ideas on how we can progress P and B growing and get more consistent results, better results, not just within the bean crop itself, but across the whole rotation. I'm now going to hand over to Tom, who's going to say a bit more about what the ADAS are doing within the project.
We're really happy with the progress of the project over the last year. We've achieved a lot and all the partners in the project have achieved a lot as well. So on the arable side of things, we've launched the Pulse PEP, as Tom mentioned, which is a knowledge hub, or we've launched the platform that supports the Pulse PEP community, which is a knowledge hub, which is a place where farmers, agronomists, scientists, researchers, anybody who's interested in growing or using pulses can go to find out information and connect with each other. This also links to the Farming Forum, which has been set up by BOFIN, an area on that where people can have discussions about growing pulses. We've got trials in the ground, so there's the Pulse Pioneer trials that are going on and they've been recruited successfully and those trials have been designed. Some of the partners are also having trials that are looking at similar things. So we've got Agri carrying out trials, we've got the Game and Conservation Wildlife Trust carrying out trials, and of course the trials from PGRO as well. We're starting to kind of hone our thinking about how we can actually get to a point where we're making cropping more sustainable. We're thinking about how we can estimate the residues of nitrogen better and more accurately from pulse crops, so that's an exciting thing that we want to carry forward as well.
When Tom's made growing beans and peas like a complete inevitability and a no-brainer, and we're producing 3.5 million tonnes of faba beans in the UK, we need a market for those. Now, a very obvious candidate for that market is displacing some of the circa 2.5 million tonnes of soybean meal that goes into UK livestock rations. And if we can displace half of that, we can make a massive dent in UK agriculture's carbon impact. So to do that, we're focusing on livestock sectors including poultry, both doing work with broilers and layers. Also then with ruminants, with beef and dairy. Now obviously each of those sectors uses the soybean meal for very different reasons, and actually the ability for beans to partially substitute or completely substitute soybean meal varies sector by sector. Okay, and also what you have to remember is that the poultry sector by far and away is the largest consumer of that soybean meal. So if we can get very small substitutions in poultry, we can actually have a really, really big impact. So in a part of our work package, we're working with SRUC and the Monogastric Research Centre there, doing both broiler and layer digestibility trials, and then rolling that forward into performance trials as well. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand, okay, so at what level can we substitute soy from those rations, and in terms of what response does that have on performance and then feed conversion ratios, but also what's the impact on the carbon reduction that we can have. And essentially we've got like as a curve. It's going to be as the global warming potential of the feed reduces, so does actually the margin over feed. And it's understanding what that is, so we can then start working with the supply chain to say, you know what, you can reduce the carbon footprint using homegrown proteins that spin off all these amazing positive externalities that are kind of beyond the scope of the project with relation to the soil health and the biodiversity, as well as just that carbon focus.
Well, we've had a fantastic day here at Cereals, talking to the farmers about what sort of trials they really want to take part in as part of the NCS project. And then we've also been talking to our project partners about what they've been doing and the other aspects of the project as well. So what about you? Would you like to be a trialist farmer? Are you at the top of your game when it comes to peas and beans? We'd really like you to be involved in the Pulse Pioneer trials. If you go to the ncsproject.co.uk, then you can sign up to be a Pulse Pioneer and take part in our trials and be paid to be a trialist farmer for us in next year's trials.